Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. Let's talk about the final Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 42, which happened on April 13th. We are officially in WrestleMania week, so let's talk about the go-home episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, this was not the greatest go-home episode to WrestleMania ever. It was also not the worst go-home episode to WrestleMania ever. This episode of Monday Night Raw, this final episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 42, lived somewhere in the middle. And now there are a couple interesting things that did happen, and I did get even more excited about certain matches at WrestleMania because I truly do believe this. Like, the build-up and the storylines and kind of the creative heading into WrestleMania 42 have been very, very subpar. But if you just look at the actual matches and the cards and the wrestlers on the show, like, if you're just a wrestling fan, you should be excited for just watching these matches and what kind of stories they tell inside the ring, how creative they get, the ladder matches, the triple threats, the tag teams, the singles matches, all this stuff. Like, I'm fired up just to watch WrestleMania. But yes, of course, WWE should have done a better job building some of these stories. But the April 13th edition of Monday Night Raw, the final episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania 42, opened with Roman Reigns. And he mentioned Pat McAfee, which now has made people assume that this Pat McAfee story is going to continue further past WrestleMania, which makes you assume that it's almost a guarantee at this point that Randy Orton wins his 15th world title, and then the Pat McAfee story is rumored then to become a WWE-wide storyline, not just a SmackDown storyline, because you have Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, obviously intertwined with Pat McAfee. You had CM Punk mention Pat McAfee, and now you have Roman Reigns mentioning Pat McAfee. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens between Cody and Randy on Friday Night SmackDown, and then night one of WrestleMania, and then after WrestleMania as well. And so that was very interesting. And then, just speaking of Roman Reigns and CM Punk, they obviously ended the show with an interesting promo. They didn't throw hands. They kind of talked about stuff that they envy about each other. I want to read you this tweet from Chan Man, who thought the CM Punk versus Roman Reigns segment was amazing. And we want to highlight, some of the fans who think what's happening in WWE is awesome, because sometimes we can be very critical. The CM Punk and Roman Reigns segment was amazing. CM Punk being vulnerable and honest with Roman felt completely new. Admitting he's envious of Roman's accomplishments added so much depth. Then Roman flipping it and admitting he envies Punk's connection with the fans. Perfect. And yet they still brought it back to the fact they hate each other, and that's real. This is what a real main event feels like. I can't wait for WrestleMania. Yeah, I agree. I was kind of like, what the fuck was happening when I was watching it? Because I thought there was going to be a little bit more intensity. I thought they were going to brawl and fight. And then they went this direction, and it ended in a very interesting way. Which again also makes me think that Roman and Punk aren't going to be done after WrestleMania 42. Something is going to happen. Now, the rumor with that match is that Jey Uso or one of the members of the Bloodline or Samoan family is going to get involved, costing Roman the match. CM Punk remains champion, and that later on, maybe halfway between the middle of the year and the next WrestleMania, it's going to be revealed that it was The Rock who's pulling the strings the whole time, and that leads to The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 43, where Roman kind of finally beats The Rock, potentially. That's a rumor mill. And so, obviously, I'm fucking pumped for CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. I want Roman Reigns to win that match. I don't think he does if there's not that kind of involvement or build up to the next WrestleMania already starting a year ahead of time. I do think CM Punk has a big-time chance of walking out still the World Heavyweight Champion. But there are also a couple other matches that I'm really excited about. I'm really excited to watch Gunther and Seth Rollins. I think that could actually steal the show just on a pure wrestling match. I think Gunther will win that match because he needs to be built up even more as the career killer. Seth Rollins at this point in his career doesn't really need any more big time wins. He's one of the top stars in WWE, and Gunther is right on the cusp of kind of breaking through that glass ceiling, even though he's retired John Cena and AJ Styles. I also wouldn't be surprised if Braun Breaker shows up to cost Seth Rollins the match. I'm also very, very excited about Liv Morgan and Stephanie McCool. I actually think that's a sleeper match for what could actually steal the show. I wasn't extremely fired up for Liv and Stephanie McCool. I thought it was going to be solid. I thought it was going to be good. But the intensity that these women have brought, the aggression that they have brought to this feud week in, week out, has been excellent. They deserve that credit, and I think this match could steal the show. Potentially, like Trick Williams and Sami Zayn, could steal the show. I'm very excited for Liv Morgan and Stephanie McCool. The ladder match is going to be incredible. If what we saw on Monday Night Raw was any indication of that, there's going to be some crazy shit that happens between JD and Javon and Rusev and all these people. And I think Javon Evans will probably walk out as the new Intercontinental Champion. Wouldn't be my pick. That's just how I think WWE wants to go. I would pick Rusev. I think he's the best wrestler in the group and completely underutilized and still underutilized even after returning to WWE. So that's what I would say. And then another interesting thing that I'm thinking about is like, where is WWE going to go, post WrestleMania? Right? Are we going to have a couple new champions? Right? It's assumed almost at this point Randy Orton is going to win. Roman Reigns wins. Now we have two brand new champions. Who will be their next challengers? Will these feuds continue? What will happen at Backlash? Will we still see Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll? All these types of things are going to continue to happen potentially, but also in the process of building new stars. And so I trying to stay in the present about what's happening right now, but you also got to kind of future forward think about, okay, if CM Punk wins, then maybe there'll be a rematch at Backlash, or if one of the Samoans kind of interferes and costs Roman Reigns, will Roman Reigns kind of ditch CM Punk and go towards kind of feuding with figuring out like why and how it happened and then feuding in that direction. If Randy Orton wins, will we see this weird tag team match of him and Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee, or will Pat McAfee become a kind of a WWE-wide storyline? Will we see the return of Braun Breaker? All those types of things. But the match that has kind of the most buzz right now outside of the two big title matches, obviously, is Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. And they, again, crushed their segments individually on Monday Night Raw. And Obafemi right now is a made man. Now, obviously, it would help him even more if he beats Brock Lesnar in a 12 to 15 minute match, because Brock Lesnar usually has like 4 to 7 minute matches. If Obafemi goes 12 to 15 with Brock Lesnar to open the show on Sunday and beats him, I would not be surprised if Obafemi actually wins a world title this year. Braun Breaker and Obafemi are the big stars of the future, and they will carry this company, and they will main event WrestleMania, if not in 43, definitely WrestleMania 44. I mean, I would consider what Obafemi has to be a very, very big match. Paul Heyman calls it the real main event. And so, even if Obafemi loses, his career is not over, and I think he's on the upward trajectory. Because don't be shocked if Brock Lesnar wins. Brock Lesnar politics a lot to win in the back, and he is heavily viewed and has a lot of political say, let's say. But, you see Brock Lesnar now moving and selling and fighting with Obafemi. He's having a great time. And I also wouldn't be surprised if he agrees to lose to Obafemi, then so he can get retired by Gunther at SummerSlam. So Obafemi, Brock Lesnar is going to be one of the best matches we see on the card. It may not be a long match, but it's going to be intense. It's going to be hard-hitting, and they've built it up to be this sort of really, really important match. And so, again, the go-home episode of Monday Night Raw wasn't the best I've ever seen. Definitely wasn't the worst. Somewhere in the middle. But it did do its job of getting me kind of really excited about some of these matches. Again, even though the storylines and the build-ups have been bad, the actual matches, the wrestlers, the action inside the ring will be fucking awesome, and I can't wait for that. So let me know what match you're most excited about to watch on WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. Drop it in the comments down below, and then let me know about maybe some future predictions. As you just heard me say, I'm wondering what's going to happen with some of Pat McAfee and CM Punk and Roman Reigns and all this stuff moving forward, kind of some future thinking of that way. Let me know what you might want to see at Backlash, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.